Mum was inside and Dad was inside with Nan and Pop having coffee. We decided we wanted to go for a bushwalk. Like, we weren't going to go far because there's all tracks around the back of the property. So we went outside and we were just sort of walking along and around the world, talking, whatever, and then we just sort of stopped dead, and it was there, sort of in front of us. So it was sort of like, how can I explain it? Like, he was just as shocked as us seeing us there as what we were with him. Sort of expect us to be, you know what I mean, coming along. And we just sort of stood there. It would have been, I don't even know, it felt like an eternity, it felt like a lifetime. The three of us just sort of staring at it. And I remember, like, as I was staring at it, thinking someone was playing a joke. There was no way that it was a person in a costume. No way in the world. I could tell around his eyes. He had, like, on his forehead, it was Dean, I think it was, asked me if I knew how old it was. I couldn't really tell. I couldn't tell an age, but it had the little crinkly skin on the forehead, you know, above his eyes. Ran hightailed it back to the house, but I remember studying, you know what I mean, I remember taking in every detail of that thing, you know what I mean, just sitting there, because we didn't know, I didn't know whether it was going to come, you know, like jump towards us or, yeah, no, it's just something that I always remember.
Your nana used to say this thing would come from over Dead Horse Bay sort of way?
Yeah, over the mountain, she said, from Dead Horse Bay to the houses, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't even really up in the mountain in the bush. It was, like I said, at the back of the house, there was a track. I suppose it was very I suppose it did go up on the hill still, and it was heaps of, you know, like bush and stuff around. But it was just standing on the track. We sort of startled it, and like oh God, yeah, I know, yeah, just sort of forget it. Just looking up and seeing it there, and we sort of just stopped dead. None of us, we didn't speak. Sort of just frozen in fear. Looking at it, and I remember taking in every detail of this thing, and then whatever, I don't know whether it moved or whether it made a noise or what it done, but I remember we just turned around and bolted. We ran for our lives back to the house, and we were crying and carrying on. And
how did you first notice it?
Say what we were doing is walking along, just looking at, you know, doing our own little thing in our own little world. And that's when we sort of come to a stop, looked up, and it's there. It was only, it was only like, geez, how far? It would have been probably 6 metres, if that, you know what I mean? It was close. It was very close, you know what I mean? Because I could remember the detail of its face.
As you're looking at it, was it standing face on or side on?
No, face on, looking at it. Just standing there, yep. Like you could see, you know how to explain it? You know how, like, its head was moving a tiny bit, you know, like it was smelling, you know what I mean? Like it was smelling, like it was trying to get our scent. You could see his head, but his eyes, I just never forget the whites of his eyes, but you could see, like, it looked from me to my brother, to my other brother, back to me. I just remember the whites of the eyes. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was giant. Like, I've got a wall unit here in the lounge room. That's what I was trying to compare today, like, in height. And it would have to be that size, and that would have to be, at least 7-8 foot high, this wall unit, this glass cabinet, and it was at least that high.
Was it covered in hair?
Yeah, the body was covered in hair.
What colour was the hair?
Just black, like thick black hair.
Was it the same colour all over?
Yeah, except around the face. The face was a bit lighter.
Was it a solid, chunky, muscly thing or a thin thing?
Oh, God, yeah.
This was a big, wide animal as well as a tall animal?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see sort of legs, arms, everything?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I wrote in the thing. It was like trunks, you know what I mean? The legs were like trunks and the arms were like, it was muscular, big built, you know what I mean? It was huge.
Were the arms short or long?
No, the arms long, not overly long, you know what I mean? Not hanging down to the neck, like a man, like a very. I can't even. It's hard to get the words out. It's like an ape, but with the face is half man, half ape. You know what I mean? It's like, I've never really seen that. I can't remember, like, when I was a kid going to the zoo, so I don't really remember how big an ape like is in real life. But this thing, yeah. That's the only way I can sort of explain it. The only way in the face is and the way it sort of stood, it didn't stand up straight, but it wasn't slumped over either, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I said, with the hands down near its knees like you see a monkey. It was more standing upright like a man. Like, it had a massive big body, like not much neck. It was like you see, like a big man on steroids or something. The forehead, that was skin, the cheeks, I remember the high cheekbones. It was like a skin, like an ape, you know what I mean? Like how an ape's got skin on its face, it was like that. But the nose, you know how like an ape's face, its nose is spread across its face? This wasn't like that. This wasn't like that, an ape. This was like a man's nose, still big, still heaps bigger than a man's nose, but more in the shape of a man's nose.
Kind of a human face rather than an ape face?
Yeah, no, half-half. I'd say half-half. Honestly, I wouldn't, yeah.
I mean, you know, an ape has a muzzle, you know, like a protruding kind of muzzle. Did this have that, or was more like a human face?
I'd say more like the ape, because it's got like the cheek. It had like hair around its the jawline. You know what I mean, like on its jawline. It didn't have hair around on his the cheeks, the forehead hair. Because I remember looking at his eyes. But didn't really. It was hard sort of to take. You know what I mean, my eyes off his eyes, sort of thing. I just wanted, just didn't know what it was going to do.
And you said you looked at its eyes and you got a sense of the whites of its eyes.
Oh yeah.
And when you're looking at this thing, what was the feeling that you got? Or was just a feeling of, what is this?
Oh, geez, how do I... Oh, God, it gives me goosebumps now just thinking about it. That many thoughts ran through my head, honestly. Then I think what was just waiting for it to do something, to jump forward at us or start chasing us or something. Just fear, just not knowing what it was going to do.
And then what did it do?
I don't know. Like when we bolted off, I did not stop to turn around. I did not stop to turn around and look to see whether it ran off up in the bush or whether it just stayed there, or I don't know. I cannot tell you that.
How long do you think you were looking at it before you bolted off?
Well, it felt like an eternity. It was at least 15 to 30 seconds. We were just dumbfounded. We were just stunned. Standing there stunned. We didn't know. Yes, honestly, I could tell the eyes. The eyes is what, and the forehead. It was no mask, you know what I mean? It was real. I'd have a lie detector test. I'd do a lie. I was even thinking the other night, I'd love to be able to, you know how they hypnotise you? You know what I mean? So you can give more detail.
When you were saying the face, you couldn't fake it. So you were saying this was the face of like a live creature.
Oh, yeah.